it. So this morning I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful, delicious, and fast sourdough loaf. The idea here is to make a loaf that is 8 minutes hands-on time. So we've really refined the process to make sure this is really efficient to make, and you can fit it into your day and your schedule as you want. So we got 600 grams of flour. So we've got 400 grams of bread flour and 200 grams of wholemeal flour. We got 440 grams of water, and I've got 120 grams of beautiful bubbly starter and 12 grams of salt. So first of all, we're going to autolyze. So that basically means we're going to just mix the 600 grams of flour with the 440 grams of water. So I'll just put the wholemeal flour in there, and then add in the 440 grams of water, and then just mix it around basically. So we're going to do this quite quickly. I'm going hands-on today. I use a spoon sometimes, but anyway, the hands-on's fine. So we're going to do this now until we've got everything mixed up together, and we're not going to mess around with this. This really is just going to be for making your mix with your flour and your water. So once you kind of got everything in there together, so I use a plastic bowl for this, which is really easy to move around the house and to kind of keep things out of it and leave it for a while. So we're going to leave this for about 40 minutes once we've got everything in there and together. So don't be too kind of worried about what this looks like. All you're really doing in here is actually mixing things up. Give yourself your mix, and that looks to be just about there. I think ready to go. Just collect everything from the side of the bowl. It's pretty good on there. There we go. So that's our dough, ready to autolyze. So leave that now for about 40 minutes. You could go as far as 2 hours if you wanted to, but somewhere between 40 minutes and 2 hours is a good area to be in. So that's the first stage. So thank you. I'll come back in 40 minutes. Okay, great. So that's the 40 minutes up from the autolyzing. So I'll just show you now what we've got. So we can just check, just wet the hands first, as you know. Always wet your hands when you're using sourdough. Just check in here. So already we got kind of some kind of dough strength in, as you can see. So very light window pane really on there, which is great. So that shows we actually got some dough strength in there. So next thing is 12 grams of salt, sprinkle that in. This is sea salt, and then 120 grams of starter. So I know pretty much from experience how much that is from this jar. So I'll leave a little bit in here for the next mix. Go on there. And that's great. So that's going to be 120 grams there. You could measure it out, you could weigh it out, but I mean, I know kind of from my jar how much 120 grams is of flour. So now just going to go in there and quickly just mix it really now. So no need for a mixer, just go on your hands and just mix it through. So I'll do this quite quickly. Here. It just takes a minute or so to do. It's really quite a quick process. Now, all you're doing here is mixing the salt, the dough and the starter. So you're not being fancy here at all. And once we've done this and we're happy that it's all mixed in, we're then going to leave this then for half an hour. It's the first start of the process. Then we're going to start to build in dough strength by stretching and folding. So I'll show you the process I use for that. I do that 3 or 4 times, depending on how we're going with the dough. So I'm happy now that's mixed in well. I mean, that's it's looking good in there. So there you go. So pretty shaggy still at the moment there. We'll leave that for half an hour, get some more dough strength, then we're going to do some stretches and folds to really get some good dough strength in there and go forward. So there you go. Thank you. I'll be back in half an hour. Okay, that's great. That's the half an hour up. So here's the next part of the process. So let's see what we've got. So it's there you go. So it's still a bit shaggy. So now I'm going to wet my hands. I'm going to do this first stretch and fold. So I'll show you how I do it. So wet both hands in here, and then just clear it from the side of the bowl. It shouldn't stick. It should be fine on here. And then basically wrap it around your hand like this, stretching it, and do it again on there. Because you got wet hands, it won't stick. So there you go, that's the technique. And then once you've got it nicely stretched, put it back in the bowl again, like so. And then come back probably in another 40 minutes and you're going to do another two sets of those. And then you're pretty much there. You've built in your dough strength to your mix. So I'll just show you right now. So we actually got we've got a pretty good window pane effect on there. So I'm pleased with that. That's really good. Anyway, I'm going to do a couple more stretch and folds and then we'll be good. So I'll come back in a wee bit. Thank you for watching. Oh, that's great. So that's the 30 minutes up. So now I'll just do our next set of stretch and fold. This one's a little bit different to the last one, a little bit easier. So again, wet your hands just a little bit. This one we're going to release from the side of the bowl like this, and then we're going to stretch it this way. You're going to pull it up, let it stretch, bring it over, turn it around, bring it up, stretch it over, and do that 4 times. As you do it, you feel the tension will increase with the folds until in the end, really, there's not a lot more to stretch on. So that's actually on together really well. That's actually, I'll do an extra one, so I've done 5 here just to show you. There you go. So that kind of supports itself now. A lot of tension in that. You'll see it kind of relaxing over time. So come back to that again in another half an hour. It could be an hour. Like, you know, you don't be too tied down to these times. Between half an hour and an hour. It's great. We'll come back and do one more. That's great. Thank you. Okay, here we go. So this is the 3rd set of stretch and fold. So let's have a look at what's happened. So you see that's relaxed a bit more in there. So we're just going to again wet our hands slightly here from the sink and just then kind of lightly go around the bowl like this. Release it slightly. Then we're going to do another stretch and fold on here. So you go on there, beautiful like that. Do 4 of those stretch and folds. And there we go. So there we go, that makes a nice little, in fact I'll do another one again, 5th for luck. So there you go, that makes a nice little tight dough ball in there. Again, let that rest again for half an hour. I think probably then you're going to find that's going to be great, you know. I mean, you could actually stop now. So we'll just check actually now and see what that's actually like for dough strength. Just going to test the window pane on here. So that really is quite good now. In fact, that's very good. Like you can see my finger through there. So that's fantastic. So that's really what you want. So you probably say now that is actually ready just to leave now, probably for 4 or 5 hours. I mean, if you want to do one more, great. You know, test it, go for it. But really, I think now, as I'm making a quick life, do 3 sets of those. So I'd say we're finished now. I'm going to put the lid on this, and then I'm going to kind of let this to its final proof on here before we goes into the fridge for the final retard. So I'm going to come back to that probably in about 4 or 5 hours time. Then just check for what's going on in there. So I'm going to come back here about 4 or 5 hours time and show you the next part of the process. So that's great. Thank you. Right, now we get on to the shaping part of the process. So we'll just have a look. It's been 5.5 hours now. So we're just going to check out, see how we've gone with the dough. So just do the kind of a prod test and just see how, with a slightly wet finger, to see how it, so you've got bubbles coming on in here. See it very slowly. My finger's actually not wet enough yet to do it with, I'll leave an indent in here. And it slowly, so it slowly comes back from there. Just slowly coming back. See this one's back now. This is looking good on here. So I'd say that's looking really good now. That's the point now we can say, let's start shaping it. So what I'm going to do now, I need some rice flour, really important. I've got a little shaker here, does it well. It's my banneton, it's my cover, and here we go, I'll show you the shaping process. Just remove that. So I'm going to give a very light dusting of rice flour on the top. Because I do want to stick to some degree, but not too much. And at the same time, I'm going to just rice flour my banneton. This stops it from sticking. Always use rice flour. Don't use normal flour. Use rice flour for this part of the process. Otherwise, if you use normal flour, it's going to stick. Just put it on there. Just get this out. My hands. So ready. Once you've done, well, you've made enough bread, you'll get the feel for how it should be anyway. So this is feeling really good here. So we're going to kind of stretch this out into a kind of a square. Like this. Looking really good. Put a bit more rice flour down here for a minute. Yeah. Then we're going to stretch this side out on here, stretch out on here. I'm going to then roll this through on here now. Really light hands when you're doing this. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. You're then going to fold up the sides on here, like that. And go on there. And we're going to put this then into Banneton. So that's looking really good. I'm pleased with that. And once we're in, this is really looking good. We're going to go through and do a process where we actually stitch it together. So we're going to go through here now and stitch it. So we take the side over here, bring it over, bring it over, bring it over, bring it over, all the way. So this way you're kind of creating tension in your life by doing that. Great, so I'm really happy with that. The last thing to do, once you wash your hands, is just to put some rice flour around the outside to stop them sticking. There we go. Just go around the outside like this, tip it to one side, go around like that, tip it to one side, around here, tip it to one side, around here, tip it one side like that. A little bit sticking there, that's no problem, just put it away, a bit of rice flour on there. And there you go. Give that a little bit of a wobble around, that's perfect. Put your cover on here, and I would say now leave this out for about half an hour is enough, just to kind of give it a little bit longer to ferment inside the Banneton. Put it in the fridge, and then you can put it in the fridge overnight. It could be 12 hours, could be 24 hours, could be 36 hours, and then you bake it when you want to. So for me, I'll probably put this in the fridge, well, within half an hour's time. Bring it out in the morning, so it'll be about kind of like 16 hours. Put it in the oven and make a loaf of bread. So I'll show you that tomorrow, this bread being baked. So this is my 8-minute fast sourdough country loaf. Okay, that's great. We're ready to get started. So the loaf has been in the fridge for overnight. So it went in about 6 o'clock last night, and now it's about 9:30. So we're ready to kind of go. So just got my ice cubes ready, lime ready, just some semolina flour ready. Obviously my loaf, and I'm going to get the Dutch oven out, and it's going to be quite a quick process because you haven't really got much time in here. Do this as fast as you can, really. So here we go. Okay, put the semolina flour down. That's looking good here, pleased with that. Now I'm going to go through and just score. It's going to do a very simple score today. Just going across the top like that. Just make sure you got edges done as well. That's looking really good. Opening out, happy with that. So then ice cubes in, 2 on there. As fast as you can then, the lid on, and then into the oven. So the oven's currently on at 240, about between 230 and 240 C. So we'll leave that now for 20 minutes for its first part of the bake. So I'll just set it on here. And we'll come back in 20 minutes, take the lid off, and do the final part of the process. So it should have risen up nicely by that time. So see you in a bit. Okay, that's great. So that's the 20 minutes up. So now I'll get it out of the oven, and let's see. Well, I'll get the lid out of the oven and see what it's like. Wow, looking fantastic. Really nice rise on there. Going to be great crumb on there. Absolutely perfect. It's risen up really well. So now back in the oven again for 20 minutes. So I'll turn this down now to about 220 on the oven. And so back in the oven for 20 minutes to finish it off. Happy with that. Right, so I thought I'd stop just a little bit earlier now. So 5 minutes earlier in the process, just to show you what it's like at 15 minutes. So for some people you like a lighter load, so 15-16 minutes might give you the opportunity to have a look and see if that's for you. So this is 15 minutes in, just to kind of have a look at. So there you go, that's a really lovely looking loaf, but for me probably I like a little bit more colour than that, so I'm probably going to go for another 5 minutes, go for the full 20 minutes. So anyway, it's looking really good, really pleased with that. So you make your choice as to how you like your bread. I like it a little bit darker. We'll go back in the oven again. That's great, that's the full 20 minutes up now. So let's get it out of the oven, and it should have a little bit more colour on it. Right, that's looking great. So quite a bit more colour. You could go another 3 minutes on that if you want to kind of have a little bit darker on top, but I think that's really lovely. Lovely and crispy, crunchy. That's going to be a great loaf. So that is an 8-minute hands-on sourdough loaf. So really easy to make. Get out there and make it. You know, it's something that you can enjoy. You can weave it into your day or your weekends and end up with beautiful, healthy sourdough bread, and it's delicious. So yeah, enjoy. I'll put this to one side now to cool off, and have it for lunch today. So thanks for watching, and start making sourdough. Okay, in the crumb reel, let's have a look at the crumb. Beautiful crusty loaf. Fantastic. Really beautiful. Really, really nice. So there you go. That is a 8-minute hands-on sourdough loaf. Lovely narrated, great crumb on there. They'll be delicious. So if you want to make your own bread, I highly recommend this. Fit it into your day. And there you go. Enjoy. I'm going to have this for my lunch now. Perfect timing.